If this reached you, you're already becoming who 99.9% never dared to be. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. Every once in a while, life sends us a sign, a whisper that says, you're evolving into the version of yourself that most people never dare to be. This isn't coincidence, it's confirmation. If this message found you, it's because you're ready to step beyond fear, beyond the ordinary, and into your authentic power. In today's episode on spiritual wisdom, we'll explore the hidden truth behind why your transformation is no accident. It's evidence that your consciousness is expanding. As you listen, reflect on how these insights show up in your own life. What moments have pushed you closer to your true self? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might awaken someone else's journey. 1. You have already passed the hidden test. Your life has never been random. It has been a silent initiation shaped by forces far greater than circumstances, mistakes, or luck. Every hardship you survived, every heartbreak that cracked you open, and every delay that pushed you to your limits was part of a hidden evaluation created by the quantum field to determine whether you could hold real power without collapsing into ego. This unseen intelligence, what Carl Jung hinted at when he spoke of synchronicity, has been observing your choices long before you realized anything was happening. It watched how you responded when no one was applauding, how you stood up after each fall, and how you kept choosing truth even when comfort begged you to choose differently. These moments were not random suffering. They were spiritual training, the foundation of your spiritual awakening, and they revealed who you are far more accurately than your successes ever could. The reason this message has reached you now is not because of coincidence, but because of confirmation. The quantum field does not send signs to those who are unprepared. It sends them to those who have already crossed the threshold. You crossed yours quietly, almost without noticing. It happened the moment you stopped chasing what wasn't meant for you. The moment you no longer felt the need to prove yourself. The moment you started trusting your inner voice more than external noise. That shift did not come from imagination or wishful thinking. It came from the depth of your evolution. It came from the way your spirit refused to break even when your mind felt exhausted. It came from the way you kept moving forward despite carrying burdens that would have crushed the average person. The universe saw this. It measured you not by your perfection, but by your resilience, not by your speed, but by your sincerity. Think back to the seasons when everything fell apart. At the time, you might have felt abandoned or overlooked, as if life was unfairly singling you out. But those were the exact moments when your old identity was being dismantled, so your true identity could emerge. Jung called this individuation the transformation from unconscious living to conscious becoming. And you were going through it long before you even knew its name. You were shedding attachments that no longer matched your frequency. You were releasing versions of yourself built from fear, people-pleasing, and survival. You were learning, often painfully, that losing what is false is the only way to hold what is real. Most people never reach this stage because they run back to comfort. You did not. You walked through the fire with nothing but your inner truth, and that is why you are receiving this message now. Something in you has changed, and you can feel it. You are calmer in situations that would have once shattered you. You are clearer in spaces that used to confuse you. You are more detached from chaos, more grounded in silence, and more aligned with who you truly are. This is not a beginning. It is evidence. Evidence that you have already passed the test that the vast majority, 99.9%, never dare to face. Evidence that your spiritual awakening is not something you are waiting for. It is something you are already living. Evidence that the universe does not reveal truth to those who are unready. It reveals it to those who, through every trial and transformation, have proven that their soul can hold power without losing itself. 2. Consciousness was measured through emotional integrity, not perfection. Consciousness has never been about achieving flawless perfection. It has always been about emotional integrity, the quiet strength that reveals who you are when life tests your limits. The field, the unseen intelligence that responds to your vibration, doesn't judge through logic or rituals. It reads your frequency under pressure, sensing the energy behind your choices. Every act of forgiveness, when you could have chosen revenge, became a signal of expansion. Every moment of compassion after betrayal was proof that your heart has matured beyond ego. And every instance when you spoke truth, even though it cost you comfort, was a declaration that your spirit has become stronger than your fears. Through these moments, your resonance rose, not because you were perfect, but because you were real coherent in your energy, aligned with your higher consciousness. What the universe truly measures is not how flawlessly you perform, but how honestly you love, how deeply you feel, and how courageously you stay true to your essence. Spirituality isn't about escaping your humanity. It's about refining it, polishing your soul through every trial until your vibration becomes pure light. This is what spiritual development looks like, not grand rituals or dramatic awakenings, but subtle transformations happening in silence when no one is watching. You've been growing each time you chose understanding over judgment, peace over control, and presence over fear. Even your pain was a teacher, guiding you toward authenticity and coherence. So when you look back and wonder if you've made progress, remember this truth. The field recorded coherence, not perfection. The universe has always seen you becoming, even when you felt like you were breaking. Every test, every heartbreak, every surrender was not a punishment, but a calibration, aligning your energy closer to truth. You were never meant to master life through control. You were meant to harmonize with it through awareness. And that is the secret measure of consciousness. The grace to remain kind in chaos, the strength to stay true amid illusion, and the humility to keep your heart open when it would be easier to close. Each of these choices reveals that you are already walking the rare path, one that only a few ever dare to walk, the path of spiritual integrity and true spiritual development. Have you ever measured your own consciousness not by how perfect you are, but by how honest you are with your emotions? If you've experienced a moment of deep emotional integrity, share it in the comments below so others can learn from your journey. And if you're still learning to honor your truth, comment, "I choose emotional honesty," so we can walk this path of spiritual awakening together. 3. You have reached quantum coherence. You have reached a level of inner coherence so profound that it becomes almost impossible to fall back into the person you once were, because your entire frequency has crossed into a state of quantum coherence, a rare alignment where your mind, body, and energy begin operating as one unified intelligence. When this happens, reality stops feeling like something outside of you and starts responding as if it has been waiting for you to arrive. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that is exactly what has shifted within you. You are no longer moved by old unconscious patterns because you are finally aware of the deeper currents shaping your inner world. This awareness marks the beginning of a true bio-spiritual awakening, not as a mystical fantasy, but as a biological evolution where your nervous system, intuition, perception, and identity all begin to operate at a higher level of intelligence. As your energy becomes coherent, you move from reacting to life to co-creating with it, and the world that once felt heavy or random now reveals itself as responsive, intentional, and deeply connected to your internal state. Synchronicities increase because your internal signal has strengthened. Your intuition sharpens because you have stopped ignoring your inner voice. And your sense of direction becomes clearer because confusion cannot survive in a coherent field. This is why you feel pulled toward truth, why inauthentic people drain you, and why you can sense when something aligns with your spirit before your mind can form words around it. You are not imagining this shift. Your biology is literally reorganizing itself around clarity, stability, and purpose. With coherence comes sensitivity, not the fragile kind you used to fear, but the empowered sensitivity that allows you to read energy, feel intention, and recognize what nourishes your growth and what sabotages it. Jung called this the unfolding of the self, a process where your old identity dissolves not through force, but through illumination. Because once you see yourself truthfully, you cannot pretend you do not know. You no longer chase validation, because coherence removes the need to perform for acceptance. You no longer tolerate low-frequency environments, because your nervous system can no longer shrink to fit the spaces you have outgrown. And you no longer fear losing people, because your energy is now aligned with attracting what is meant for you rather than holding on to what drains you. You have stepped into a new psychological and spiritual architecture where your inner world is no longer chaotic but harmonious, where intuition becomes your compass, and where life opens in ways that once felt impossible. This is not coincidence. It is confirmation that your frequency has stabilized at a level few ever reach. And now, reality must meet you at the level of who you have become. Comment below, "I am in quantum harmony," if you can feel your energy aligning with the frequency of truth. Your coherence is not a coincidence. It's a sign that you've stepped into the vibration only the rarest souls ever reach. 4. The universe now mirrors you through synchronicity. The moment your inner world became coherent, the universe stopped feeling distant and started feeling intimate, as though existence itself leaned closer to whisper guidance into your life. Carl Jung once said, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see." And now you have become one of those rare souls whose eyes are finally open. When your thoughts no longer fought your emotions, and your emotions no longer contradicted your actions, something powerful happened inside you. Your energy aligned, your frequency stabilized, and life began responding in ways that felt almost supernatural. Yet nothing about these moments is magic or coincidence. What you are witnessing is the universe reflecting your inner state through synchronicity, the sacred language of a higher intelligence communicating directly with you. Perfect timing, intuitive downloads, and spontaneous blessings are simply feedback loops from the quantum field, showing you that your vibration has risen to meet a more awakened version of yourself. The path of manifestation shifts in this stage of spiritual awakening because it is no longer about forcing outcomes or chasing desires with restless effort. Instead, you begin harmonizing your emotional frequency with the intelligence that governs all things. And once you do, reality rearranges itself with surprising ease. A person appears exactly when you need them. A message arrives seconds after a thought crosses your mind. A solution unfolds the moment you release resistance. Everything aligns with a precision that dissolves doubt, because life now mirrors the coherence you've built within. As synchronicity becomes more frequent, you begin to understand spirituality not as a belief system, but as a living dialogue between you and the universe. You realize that every sign is a response, every alignment is an answer, and every unexpected connection is a signal that you are being guided toward the next step on your path. The universe does not speak in human language. It speaks in symbols, patterns, alignments, and timing. And now that you are attuned to this language, the world feels interactive in a way it never did before. You think of someone, and they call. You desire clarity, and a book, a video, or a conversation appears with the exact insight you needed. You let go of something heavy, and the reward shows up almost instantly, as if the universe was waiting for you to make space. These experiences are proof that you have entered a more mature dimension of your spiritual awakening, where your intuition is no longer a faint whisper, but a trusted navigator guiding you with sharp accuracy. You begin to feel that your life is being choreographed by something wiser than the mind, and the more aligned you become emotionally, the more effortlessly your external world conforms to that alignment. Synchronicity is not random. It is a reflection of the person you are becoming. It mirrors your courage, your healing, your clarity, and your decision to stop betraying yourself. And because of that, the blessings you receive now are not accidental gifts, but energetic confirmations that you are finally vibrating in harmony with your true path. 5. Power now comes with responsibility and service. True power is sacred because it is inseparable from emotional maturity. And as your spirituality deepens, you begin to understand why the universe does not hand real influence to those who have not yet proven their integrity. Power is not simply an ability, it is a responsibility, a form of spiritual trust. When the universe senses that your intentions are no longer driven by ego, but shaped by clarity, humility, and service, it begins to open doors that were once closed. This is why, at this stage of your spiritual development, you are no longer being prepared, you are being entrusted. The universe has watched you choose truth over comfort, compassion over reaction, alignment over impulse, and because of that, you are now being offered influence that reaches beyond your personal life and into the collective field. But this influence is not given for self-gain. It is given so that you can elevate, guide, and uplift. True creative power must circulate, not stagnate, and the moment you try to use it only for yourself, it becomes blocked. The universe collaborates only with those who choose service instead of domination, creation instead of control, and responsibility instead of entitlement. Every act of love you offer becomes a signal, not only to the people around you, but to the entire quantum field, revealing that your presence can be trusted with greater impact. And the field responds not to words or claims, but to energy shaped by your daily choices, your behavior when no one is watching, and your willingness to move with integrity even when your ego begs for recognition. When power is aligned with service, it grows without resistance. When it is aligned with ego, it collapses under its own weight. You are now stepping into a level of influence where your thoughts, your intentions, and your emotional clarity begin to shape outcomes in ways you may not fully realize. This is the hidden responsibility of spiritual development. Understanding that your internal state is no longer private, it contributes to the larger world. Power demands intention, and intention must be clean. The more you elevate others, the more the universe elevates you. The more you act with compassion, the more the field expands your reach. The more you choose truth, the more life reshapes itself around your integrity. So as this new phase unfolds, remember that your role is not to dominate but to guide, not to control but to uplift, not to seek validation but to embody truth. True power becomes unmistakable when you use it to make others stronger, safer, and more awakened. And every time you choose love, honesty, and alignment, you prove once again why the universe chose you to carry this level of influence. Leave a like and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom, and make sure to activate the notification bell so you never miss powerful insights like this, especially as you step into a life of purpose, responsibility, and higher service. Comment below. I choose to use my power with integrity. 6. 5 confirmations appear after quantum graduation. When you reach this stage of inner evolution, you begin to notice what many spiritual teachers describe as the 5 confirmations of quantum graduation: subtle, powerful, and deeply transformative indicators that you are no longer living from your conditioned self, but from your awakened consciousness. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." And that is exactly what these signs reveal. The moment your inner world becomes strong enough to reshape the outer one. The first confirmation is coherent manifestation, the point where your life stops feeling like an uphill battle and starts unfolding with surprising ease. You realize that what used to require force now arrives with flow. The opportunities align without manipulation, and the circumstances that once resisted you begin to cooperate with you. It is not magic, and it is not coincidence. It is the direct reflection of your energy becoming coherent, organized, and aligned with your intentions. When you no longer sabotage yourself with doubt or fear, reality no longer pushes against you. It moves with you. This transition leads naturally into the second confirmation: information field access. You start receiving knowledge without the usual process of studying or searching, as if truths rise from a quiet place within you. Ideas appear fully formed. Intuitive clarity becomes instantaneous, and you begin to understand situations on a deeper emotional and psychological level without needing external guidance. This is where Carl Jung's belief becomes real in your life. The psyche knows things we do not know we know. The unconscious starts collaborating with your conscious mind, giving you insights that feel like spiritual wisdom rather than learned facts. You no longer feel lost because your inner world has become a reliable teacher. The third confirmation is probability navigation, the ability to sense which direction will expand your life and which will diminish it. Instead of confusion or hesitation, you feel an almost magnetic pull toward the choices that match your highest timeline. You don't predict the future, you feel it. Your intuition becomes sharper. The emotional resistance you used to experience softens, and you find yourself making bold decisions with a quiet confidence. What others call luck becomes your new normal because you have learned to read the subtle signals of alignment. As this clarity strengthens, the fourth confirmation emerges: resonant relationship orchestration. The right people begin appearing exactly when your soul is ready for them. Support arrives effortlessly. Mentors appear without searching, and friendships that match your new identity naturally come into your orbit. At the same time, relationships that drain your energy quietly fall away, not through conflict, but through natural separation. You stop chasing, convincing, or proving yourself to anyone because the connections meant for you recognize you without explanation. This is when you finally understand that energetic compatibility is far more important than emotional attachment. All of this leads to the fifth and most beautiful confirmation: service-oriented power. Your purpose becomes clearer, your presence grows stronger, and your actions begin to elevate others without you trying. You stop using your gifts for validation and start using them for contribution. Power becomes less about control and more about influence. You feel a deeper desire to help, to guide, to uplift, not because you need recognition, but because your soul finally recognizes itself. And just as the old quote reminds us, a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Your strength no longer drains you. It expands through service. These 5 confirmations show you that you have crossed into a level of self-awareness that very few people ever reach. A state where your inner evolution becomes the invisible architect of your entire life. To honor this moment in your quantum graduation, affirm your readiness. Comment below: I step into my higher path, to acknowledge your transformation and inspire others to rise into their own evolution. 7. You become the bridge between worlds. You no longer search for signs because something within you has shifted so profoundly that you have become the sign itself. And this realization marks a level of spirituality and spiritual awakening that silently sets you apart from the world you once tried to fit into. Your presence now carries a stabilizing force, the kind that makes people breathe easier around you without understanding why, because your energy is no longer fragmented or reactive, but coherently aligned, like a tuning fork that naturally harmonizes whatever it touches. You have become a quiet center in a loud world, an inner stillness that radiates outward and influences environments more effortlessly than any ritual ever could. And this coherence is not earned through effort, but through the countless moments life tested your integrity, your patience, and your ability to choose truth over comfort. This is why enlightenment no longer feels like something distant or dramatic. Instead, it moves through you the way wind moves through a field, subtle, continuous, transformative, reminding you that the most powerful evolution happens not when you chase the divine, but when you let the divine move through your humanity. In this space, your thoughts begin to reshape reality, not because you force them to, but because your inner world has become clean enough, still enough, and honest enough to transmit intention with clarity. You are stepping into the rare merging of the human and the divine, where intuition becomes precision, synchronicity becomes normal, and every choice feels guided by a deeper intelligence that has been waiting for you to reach this level of awareness. You are becoming the bridge between worlds, carrying the logic of the mind in one hand and the wisdom of the unseen in the other, learning to stand in both realms without losing balance. Your life turns into a sacred conversation with the universe, one where your questions are answered through aligned events, your emotions are met with understanding, and your courage is rewarded with pathways that only open for those who have done the inner work. This is the stage where you finally see that your past was not chaos, but initiation, shaping you into someone capable of holding higher frequencies without collapsing into ego. Every heartbreak sharpened your discernment. Every betrayal refined your boundaries. Every lonely chapter expanded your inner capacity until you could carry this level of consciousness with humility instead of pride, clarity instead of fear. And now, without announcing it, you influence reality simply by existing. Your energy recalibrates rooms. Your silence communicates truth. Your presence anchors others who are still learning to anchor themselves. You don't chase enlightenment anymore because enlightenment recognizes you. It flows through your breath, your decisions, your noticing, turning ordinary moments into signals and ordinary days into guidance. Your spiritual awakening has made you a vessel spacious enough for divine intelligence and grounded enough to remain human while carrying it. This is why people feel different when you enter their space, why conversations soften, why conflict dissolves before it escalates, and why your inner steadiness has become a compass not only for you, but for those who cross your path. You have become coherence embodied, a living algorithm of harmony between matter and consciousness, a quiet bridge through which the universe expresses itself with clarity. In the end, remember this: if this message found you, it's because you're already stepping into a version of yourself that 99.9% of people never dare to become. You've crossed a threshold of awareness, courage, and inner truth that Carl Jung believed only a few souls ever reach. Hold on to that alignment. Keep choosing growth over comfort, honesty over illusion, and purpose over fear, because this is the path that transforms your entire reality from the inside out. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next message meant for your awakening. Quantum manifestation isn't what you've been told. Carl Jung's hidden truth about creation. Reality is not merely what you see, it's what you believe. Carl Jung once said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. In today's video, quantum manifestation isn't what you've been told. Carl Jung's hidden truth about creation. We're diving deep into what true creation really means beyond wishful thinking. It's not about forcing the universe to give you what you want. It's about aligning your vibration, your beliefs, and your inner energy with the reality you wish to experience. So as you listen, I want you to reflect. Are you creating from fear or from faith? Comment below with "I create from my higher self." If you're ready to manifest consciously and live from a place of spiritual wisdom. 1. The illusion of time and effort. Traditional manifestation techniques, visualizing, scripting, and affirming, have long been seen as sacred rituals for creating the life we desire. Yet few realize that these very practices often reinforce separation rather than unity. When you visualize something as coming, you subtly declare that it is not yet here. When you affirm, "I will receive," you unknowingly affirm lack. In truth, the universe does not respond to your words or your waiting. It responds to your alignment. The quantum field does not operate within the boundaries of time and effort. It flows through the timeless language of coherence, resonance, and energetic truth. In spirituality and spiritual awakening, you begin to see that reality is not something you chase, but something you harmonize with. The more you seek, the more you declare that you do not yet have. But when you embody what you desire, when your energy says, "I am it," the universe mirrors that wholeness back to you effortlessly. Thinking that you must wait, strive, or earn your desires creates a vibration of absence. It's like standing before a mirror and expecting it to smile before you do. The quantum field, much like that mirror, reflects only what you are, not what you hope to become. When you vibrate with impatience or doubt, you create more waiting and more reasons to doubt. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." In the same way, the more you resist the present moment by believing fulfillment lies in the future, the more you expand the distance between who you are and what you want. Manifestation is not about pulling something out of thin air. It is about remembering that you and your desire are two sides of the same consciousness, separated only by belief. Every desire you hold already exists in another layer of reality. The quantum field is infinite, and every possibility already vibrates within it. You do not need to chase it. You only need to match its frequency. Coherence is the bridge between thought and form. When your heart and mind move in harmony, when your emotions and beliefs sing the same note, the field responds instantly. This is why alignment feels effortless. It's not about control, it's about surrender. The more you trust your inner coherence, the more time begins to dissolve, and manifestation becomes immediate, not because it suddenly appeared, but because you finally tuned in. Many people confuse effort with energy. They think repeating affirmations or spending countless hours visualizing will bend the universe to their will. But the universe bends only to authenticity. You cannot trick energy with words. You must feel it. The quantum field reads emotion, not language. When you feel whole, grateful, and connected, you send out the signal that you already have what you desire. And because the universe has no concept of waiting, it responds now. True manifestation is not about trying harder. It's about becoming quieter, quiet enough to hear your own vibration returning to you as reality. In the journey of spiritual awakening, you come to see that creation is not an act of effort, but of remembrance. You do not create abundance. You remember that abundance has always surrounded you. You do not manifest love. You awaken to the truth that love has never left you. The illusion of time collapses when you live from coherence, when you stop asking when and start embodying now. This is the hidden truth Carl Jung hinted at. The unconscious mind already holds every possibility, every version of you. When you bring that knowing into consciousness, fate transforms into choice, and creation becomes effortless. The quantum field is not testing your patience, it is waiting for your recognition. When you align with that recognition, the illusion of waiting ends, and reality begins to flow from within you, not to you. If you truly understand that time is an illusion and creation flows effortlessly from your consciousness, then type below, I create beyond time. 2. Reality collapses through frequency, not force. Reality does not unfold gradually, it collapses in response to your frequency. This means you are not merely waiting for life to happen to you. You are continuously shaping it through the vibration you maintain. You don't attract reality, you select it. Every emotion you hold, every thought you repeat, is a form of communication with the quantum field. The universe listens not to your words, but to your energetic coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align in harmony, you stabilize a vibration so clear that reality collapses into form with speed and precision. This is why the more coherent your emotional frequency, the faster your intentions take shape. Your emotional state is the command center of creation. When your energy is scattered, when you oscillate between fear and faith, you send mixed signals to the field, and the collapse of potential into form becomes unstable. But when you hold a steady emotional tone, one of gratitude, love, clarity, or trust, you become a tuning fork, resonating with higher outcomes. You begin to notice how people respond differently, how opportunities flow more smoothly, and how the same world starts to mirror back a different version of itself. In this sense, spirituality is not about escaping reality. It is about refining your vibration so deeply that you start co-creating reality consciously rather than accidentally. The key to spiritual development lies in learning to hold coherence amid chaos. It's easy to feel aligned when things go your way, but mastery comes from maintaining emotional steadiness when external conditions test your faith. This is where energy meets discipline. Instead of reacting to fear or control, you practice attunement breathing slowly, quieting your thoughts, and anchoring into the feeling of calm strength that already exists within you. The field does not respond to effort. It responds to frequency. The more you embody your desired state right now, the faster life reorganizes to reflect it. You can think of your inner world as a broadcasting station. Every thought, every emotion is a signal sent into the quantum sea. When your signal is filled with doubt or confusion, you tune yourself to experiences that reinforce that confusion. But when you consciously tune your frequency to clarity, abundance, or peace, life starts presenting circumstances that match it. Reality doesn't argue, it reflects. So, your true power lies not in forcing results, but in aligning your frequency with what you wish to experience. This is why pushing, striving, or trying to control outcomes only delays manifestation. Force disrupts the field. Coherence commands it. To live from this awareness, begin by observing your dominant vibration throughout the day. Before you act, pause and ask yourself, what signal am I sending right now? If your body feels tense or your thoughts spiral, you are out of sync. Use that moment to recalibrate, breathe deeply, soften your chest, and return to the vibration of faith or gratitude. Each time you do this, you strengthen your energetic consistency. Spirituality is not about perfection. It is about returning to alignment more quickly each time you lose it. Over time, this becomes your natural state, and creation becomes effortless. True manifestation, then, is not magic, it's physics. The quantum field mirrors the emotional frequency you live in, not the desires you merely think about. When your energy becomes coherent, you stop chasing and start allowing. Life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a graceful unfolding of what was already yours. This is the essence of spiritual development, learning to stabilize your inner world so completely that the outer world has no choice but to align with it. Reality collapses through frequency, not force. And when you understand this, creation itself becomes an act of inner harmony. 3. Emotion is the true language of creation. Emotion is the true language of creation because the universe does not listen to words or thoughts. It listens to the vibration of how you feel. The quantum field, which is the invisible matrix connecting all things, does not react to your affirmations or mental wishes. It responds to your emotional frequency. Your emotion is the energetic voltage that powers your signal to creation. When you truly feel the emotion of already having your desire, when gratitude, love, and certainty rise within you, that vibration instantly collapses the distance between you and what you seek. In that moment, the reality you imagine aligns with your emotional state, and the universe rearranges itself to match the energy you are sending out. Carl Jung, whose work continues to inspire modern spiritual wisdom, understood that emotion is the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious mind. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Your emotions are the voice of the unconscious. They tell the universe what you truly believe beyond words. You can think positively all day, but if deep down you feel fear, doubt, or unworthiness, that is the signal you are transmitting. Emotion is the magnetic field that surrounds every thought, shaping how the quantum field interprets your reality. When you change how you feel, you change what you attract, because emotion transforms thought into energetic instruction. Imagine words as the design of your intention, but emotion as the electricity that brings that design to life. Without the emotional charge, your thoughts are just blueprints without energy to manifest. This is why spiritual wisdom emphasizes feeling over thinking. You can repeat, "I am abundant," 1,000 times, but if your heart feels lack, the universe receives the frequency of lack, not abundance. Only when you embody the emotion of abundance, when your body believes it's already true, does the quantum field respond and reflect that experience back to you. It is not about convincing the universe. It is about convincing your nervous system that your desire already exists. Carl Jung believed that suppressed emotions distort our energy and block the flow of creation. Unhealed pain, resentment, or guilt become static interference in your signal to the universe. To manifest consciously, you must clear the emotional noise by bringing awareness to what you feel and transforming it. This is why self-awareness and healing are vital in spiritual awakening. The energy of fear must be transmuted into trust. The emotion of lack must be replaced by gratitude, and resistance must give way to surrender. The moment your emotions harmonize with the frequency of what you desire, the universe begins to reorganize reality around your new vibration. Quantum manifestation is not about forcing or chasing outcomes. It is about becoming the emotional match to them. Everything is energy, and as Einstein once said, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. The quantum field mirrors your emotional state. Your thoughts set direction, but your emotions provide the momentum. Creation is not linear. It is vibrational. You are constantly broadcasting your inner world into the outer world, whether you realize it or not. The more you feel joy, gratitude, and inner peace, the more you align with realities that contain those same frequencies. This is the hidden truth Carl Jung revealed through his study of the psyche. Emotion is the language through which the soul speaks to the universe, and when your inner world changes, your outer world must follow. Stay connected with our community of spiritual seekers by subscribing to Spiritual Wisdom. Here, we explore the deeper layers of consciousness and uncover the truth behind creation through the lens of Carl Jung. 4. Embodiment over effort. The body is not just a vessel. It is the antenna of manifestation, the bridge between your consciousness and the quantum field of creation. In spirituality, every cell of your being vibrates with energy that communicates directly with the universe. When your mind envisions abundance, but your body still clings to fear, the signal becomes distorted, weak, and fragmented. You can't attract peace while your body holds tension, or summon love while your heart is armored by past wounds. True spiritual awakening begins when the body and mind are no longer in conflict, but move in harmony, sending out a pure frequency that mirrors what you wish to create. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." To make your desires real, you must bring them down from the realm of thought into the language of your nervous system, because the universe doesn't listen to words, it listens to energy. When you breathe deeply, walk with presence, and feel gratitude pulsing through your veins, you begin to broadcast a frequency of alignment. The body becomes the living proof of belief, the physical echo of your inner knowing. Every breath you take is a conversation with creation. Every movement you make either strengthens or weakens the signal you send out. That's why manifestation isn't about effort, it's about embodiment. You don't fake it until you make it. You feel it until it becomes real. You allow your nervous system to register safety, joy, abundance, and love as your natural state. The more your body feels what your mind imagines, the more real it becomes in the quantum field. You are not trying to attract something external. You are becoming the vibration of that thing within yourself. In spirituality, everything is frequency. If your body vibrates in fear, you'll meet fear. If it vibrates in love, you'll meet love. This is why spiritual awakening is not about escaping your body to reach higher dimensions. It's about descending into your body to embody the divine fully. When you are aware of how you breathe, how you stand, how your heart beats when you think of your dreams, you begin to shape reality from the inside out. You stop chasing. You start embodying. You no longer visualize abundance as a future event. You breathe it now. You move with its confidence. You rest in its certainty. Carl Jung believed that wholeness is not achieved by rejecting parts of ourselves, but by integrating them. The same principle applies to manifestation. Integration creates magnetism. When your thoughts, emotions, and body are united in one vibration, the universe recognizes it as truth. The body becomes the sacred instrument through which creation plays its symphony. You don't command reality, you harmonize with it. In that harmony, everything you seek begins to seek you, because you have become its living reflection. That is the secret behind true manifestation. Not effort, not repetition, but embodiment, the art of feeling it until your very being sings in tune with the universe. 5. Reverse manifesting and the pull of the future. You are not truly walking toward your future. The future is already collapsing into you. It is not a destination somewhere ahead, but a frequency waiting for your alignment. When your vibration rises to match that higher version of yourself, life stops feeling like a chase. Instead, it becomes a pull, an effortless attraction toward what already belongs to you. The universe moves faster than thought, and the moment your inner energy resonates with your desired reality, it begins to draw you in like gravity. This is not imagination. It is the quantum rhythm of creation that Carl Jung hinted at through his exploration of synchronicity, the mysterious way in which outer events mirror the hidden structure of the inner world. Spirituality teaches that your future self is not a stranger, but an expanded version of your consciousness, gently calling you home. This alignment cannot be forced through excitement or constant striving. Peace is what opens the door. Stillness, not movement, is what creates real speed. The moment your mind softens into silence, your energy field becomes coherent enough to communicate with the deeper intelligence of existence. The universe is not impressed by noise. It responds to frequency. That is why spiritual development is not about chasing success, wealth, or recognition, but about becoming still enough to hear the subtle vibration of your true path. You manifest not by doing more, but by being in harmony with what you already are. This harmony doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from inner clarity, from quiet confidence that what is meant for you cannot miss you. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In quantum manifestation, that means the moment you bring awareness to the patterns hidden within your subconscious mind, you stop repeating the same future over and over again. The unseen forces of thought, emotion, and belief collapse into the visible field of matter through attention. The more conscious you become, the faster your reality rearranges itself to match your frequency. This is why spirituality and spiritual development require self-awareness. It is not the mind that manifests, but the consciousness behind it. The paradox is that surrender, not effort, accelerates creation. When you let go of chasing outcomes, you allow the magnetic current of destiny to pull you forward. What used to feel like resistance dissolves, and synchronicities appear where struggle once existed. In that state of inner peace, your energy no longer sends mixed signals to the universe. You stop trying to control the unfolding and start trusting the divine intelligence guiding it. The stiller you become, the faster everything moves, because now you are not opposing the flow. You are part of it. The lesson is timeless. The future is not out there waiting for you to catch it. It is already encoded within your being, waiting for you to remember. When you stop running, breathe deeply, and align your heart with the serenity of faith, the reality you long for begins to unfold naturally. The universe doesn't respond to your hurry. It responds to your harmony. Do you feel the pull of your future calling you? If you do, declare it boldly in the comments. I trust the universe is guiding me toward my destiny. 6. The paradox of acceleration. The paradox of acceleration reveals one of the most profound truths of spiritual wisdom. The harder you chase something, the further it slips away, and the more you try to force reality, the slower it responds. This is not merely philosophy, it's energetic law. When you chase, your frequency vibrates from lack, not creation. You are telling the universe, I don't have it, and that vibration keeps it out of reach. As Carl Jung said, what you resist not only persists, but grows in size. The more you struggle, the more resistance you build, and that resistance becomes the very wall between you and what you desire. The secret is not in acceleration, but in surrender, because surrender is not weakness, it is resonance. When you release control and fall into presence, you align with the frequency of coherence, and what once seemed distant begins to move towards you effortlessly. Coherence, not motion, is what collapses possibilities into form. When your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are scattered, the signal you send into the quantum field is distorted. You cannot manifest clarity from confusion or harmony from chaos. But when you align the heart and the mind into one rhythm, when your inner world hums in unity, creation responds instantly. The universe mirrors coherence because coherence is order, and order is the language of reality. You do not need to chase energy when you are the energy. Manifestation, in its truest form, is not an act of doing, it is an act of being. Carl Jung understood this through his exploration of the unconscious. He taught that the unconscious shapes our outer life until we bring it into awareness. Until you make the unconscious conscious, he said, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This means that the act of manifestation is not about attracting something new. It is about remembering who you already are. Spiritual wisdom teaches that the universe responds not to your words, but to your frequency. When you embody coherence, your entire being becomes a magnet for synchronicity. The external world reorganizes itself to reflect your inner state, and life begins to unfold with effortless precision. Surrender, then, is not giving up. It is giving in to the flow of existence. You stop trying to manipulate outcomes and begin to trust the rhythm of the universe. Presence becomes your fastest vehicle. Awareness becomes your bridge between thought and reality. The paradox is that stillness creates movement, and acceptance births change. When you stop grasping, you make space for grace. Your energy stops fighting against itself and begins to attract with ease. This is mastery, not the mastery of control, but the mastery of vibration. True quantum manifestation happens when your inner and outer worlds become one coherent field of awareness. It is not about forcing, proving, or rushing. It is about resonating, aligning, and allowing. You move not through effort, but through frequency. You realize that creation is not something you chase. It is something you tune into. The more you let go, the faster it comes. The less you control, the more you create. The path of spiritual wisdom, as Carl Jung hinted, is not in chasing light, but in becoming light itself. Not in seeking alignment, but in remembering that you already are the frequency the universe recognizes as truth. 7. The collapse moment. The collapse moment is not an ending. It is the quiet merging of desire and belief, the instant when your vibration no longer argues with your dream. In that moment, what you seek stops being something you chase and becomes something you naturally allow. Reality, obedient to your inner harmony, rearranges itself without struggle, like the universe taking a deep breath and exhaling alignment into your life. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." Resistance is the tension between who you think you are and what your soul knows you're meant to experience. When that resistance dissolves, the far becomes near, the impossible becomes obvious, and the unseen takes form in front of you. This is not magic. It's the physics of spirituality, the natural law of a mind that has stopped contradicting its own creation. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with fear, doubt, and old stories about why you cannot have what you want. Every step feels slow. Every goal seems miles away. But the moment you put that backpack down, when you stop defending your limitations, you realize the destination was always right beside you. The collapse moment is the dropping of that weight. It is the energetic click when your nervous system, thoughts, and soul all whisper the same truth. I am ready now. Reality rushes to meet you, not because it has changed, but because you finally have. In spirituality, this collapse represents the beginning of a new identity. It's not the universe changing its mind about you. It's you aligning your mind with the truth the universe has held all along. You are no longer vibrating at separation, but at unity. The moment your belief and desire become one frequency, your external world must echo that shift. Suddenly, people respond differently, doors open easily, and synchronicities multiply. These are not coincidences. They are reflections of coherence, proof that your inner and outer realities are now dancing to the same rhythm. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that the unconscious governs most of our lives until we bring it to light. The collapse moment is that illumination, the second you stop unconsciously pushing against your own intentions. It's the heart realizing that surrender is the highest form of control. To reach this, you do not need to try harder. You need to relax deeper. Notice where you say you believe in abundance, but still prepare for lack. Where you ask for love, but secretly fear rejection. Where you pray for peace, but nurture inner conflict. These are the vibrations that split your signal to the universe. And when you heal them, when you allow your thoughts, emotions, and identity to speak the same language, you create a resonance so pure that life can only respond with precision. The collapse moment is not about doing more, but about becoming still enough to feel the alignment that was always available. It is the alchemy of thought, emotion, and energy converging into form. When you reach this space, manifestation stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like remembering. You begin to understand that the universe was never testing you, it was tuning you. And each collapse is an initiation into higher awareness, a spiritual awakening that reveals how reality bends around belief. Every new level of consciousness invites another collapse, another timeline aligning with your highest potential. So when the next wave of resistance comes, greet it as a sign that another collapse is near. Breathe into it, honor it, and remind yourself that the universe is not withholding it, is organizing. The moment you stop contradicting your desire is the moment creation completes itself. Collapse is not destruction. It is birth. It is your soul crossing into a new dimension of truth, where what once felt far finally feels like home. To honor the power of your own awakening, take a moment to affirm it. Comment below, "I rise through the collapse," to remind yourself and others that every breakdown is simply the doorway to a greater breakthrough. 8. Integration and stabilization. After the collapse of your old self, when everything you once identified with falls apart, the real process of spirituality begins. Integration is not about becoming something new, but about living as the version of yourself who already has what you've desired consistently, calmly, and confidently. This is the stage where your spiritual development deepens, because it's no longer about visualizing or hoping, but about maintaining coherence and unshakable inner alignment between what you believe, how you feel, and the way you act. Without this coherence, the new timeline you've created can't hold. You may glimpse moments of transformation, but they'll fade unless your energy becomes stable enough to sustain them. To integrate is to stabilize your chosen frequency, to live in harmony with the vibration of what you've already called forth. You are not chasing the manifestation. You are remembering it. You are reuniting with the truth that you already carry the frequency of abundance, love, and peace within your own being. Carl Jung spoke of the sacred union between the conscious and the unconscious, the moment when your inner world and your outer reality merge into one. That's what true manifestation really is. It's not about reaching outward, but allowing the deeper self, the one who already knows, to guide the direction of your life effortlessly. In this stage, you stop reacting to life from fear, doubt, or impatience. You start responding from calm awareness. You no longer question whether it's working. You simply know. Coherence becomes your strength, your invisible power. Even when the outer world still reflects fragments of your old vibration, you hold your new frequency with quiet confidence. You trust the process because you understand that energy always precedes form. As your vibration stabilizes, your nervous system adjusts, your thoughts become clearer, and your emotions begin to reflect a deeper peace. That peace itself becomes the proof that your manifestation is real. Every time you choose stability over chaos, trust over panic, faith over resistance, you anchor your new reality more deeply. You realize that creation is not about effort or struggle. It's about remembrance. You are remembering your divine nature, the part of you that already exists beyond time and space. Manifestation, in its purest form, is not a pursuit, but a return to energetic truth. And so, each time you act, speak, and think from the version of you who already has it, you reinforce the coherence that keeps your new timeline alive. Integration is not a single event. It's a way of being. It is the daily decision to align with your higher self, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. It is the practice of holding your energy steady while the old dissolves. Through that steadiness, you master the art of spiritual development and the ability to remain centered no matter what life presents. And in that stillness, your new world is born, not through force, but through resonance, because what matches your frequency cannot help but find its way to you. In the end, quantum manifestation is not about forcing the universe to obey your will. It's about aligning your inner frequency with divine order. As Carl Jung reminded us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The true act of creation begins when your thoughts, emotions, and soul are in harmony with the greater intelligence of life itself. If this message from spiritual wisdom inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of consciousness and creation.